Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. And in this update, we are going to check out Internet Computer's price chart and see what is happening in the short term. And I'm not really sure if I have the best news for you, but before we get into all that, we are going to at first talk about something that has been bugging me a bit lately, and it is the insane gap between hype-driven blockchains and the ones that are actually building something real and useful. And Dominic Williams, which in case that you are a new viewer, he's the founder of Internet Computer, recently dropped a very important tweet that in my view absolutely nailed the problem. You see, he basically asked, can chains built around meme coins and viral hype really compete with big tech's vision for finance? And honestly, I think this is a very much fair question, because right now we got two very different worlds in the crypto space. On one side, you got the meme coin chains. I'm talking about the ones that launching them just takes, let's say, 5 to 10 minutes, and they are designed to do absolutely nothing. They are fun, they are fast, and yup, they can make you quite a good bit of money if you time it right. But under the hood, it's actually quite messy. Governance is really weak. Exploits happen way too often, and tokenomics are usually just inflation machines. Now, on the other hand, you got something that Dominic calls future finance. Think, for example, in here, Google's GCUL chain. These are blockchains built for serious stuff. For example, 24/7 capital markets, native bank money on chain, compliance baked in from day one. They are not here to host dog-themed tokens. They are here to rebuild financial infrastructure. But they got their own issues too. Let's not get that twisted. For example, I think the first thing that comes to mind is centralization issues, which, if you care about these, I actually think to a good degree, you do have good reasons to be worried. And also there are some other issues, for example, limited access for indie developers. Now, here is where ICP comes in and why it's not just another layer 1 chain trying to be cool and call themselves awesome. You see, ICP isn't just chasing trends, and I think we can all really agree on that based on what we are seeing in the Twitter and also YouTube space. ICP has been quietly building a monster of a protocol for years, and the tech moat is very much real in my view. We are talking chain key technology that gives you near instant finality and lets smart contracts scale without hitting a wall. And the threshold relay consensus, that's not just some recycled POS fork. No, it is designed for randomness that is actually verifiable and decentralized. But it's not just about consensus. You see, ICP is basically a secure cloud. You can run full-blown WebAssembly services directly on-chain with it. No need for AWS or some sketchy off-chain middleware. Everything is upgradable, governed by the NNS, and I know NNS also has their own issues, no arguments there, but it is, I think we can all agree, absolutely built to last. And then, especially recently with the launch of Caffeine AI, there is the AI angle. You see, ICP isn't just AI friendly. It's very important to understand that it's actually AI native, meaning developers can build agentic apps that live entirely on blockchain, and that, in my view, is a huge deal when especially you think about where automation and smart agents are headed. Also, the ecosystem is not some weekend hackathon either. We are talking about 5+ years of hardcore R&D, SDKs, grants, and real institutional pilots. It's not flashy, I know, but I think we can all agree that it is quite solid. Now, let's zoom out for a second, because when you are evaluating a L1 chain, you cannot just look at the price charts or Twitter hype. In that case, if you only want to do that, I think you are actually better off buying Fartcoin, because this is Fartcoin's lowest low down here on March 2025, only a couple of months ago, which was about, let's say, 20 cents. And since then, we almost had to about the highest side, about an 8 to 9x move up, but let's just say to about the recent price action. Even in that scenario, you are having about a 4x move up off of the lowest low. And in ICP, well, I really do not have anything to show for, because we are still, unfortunately, around the low. So if you want to only judge a chain by its price, I think right now at least ICP doesn't really have a whole lot to show for. But in my view, that's not actually enough. You also have to dig into fundamentals, and for example, stuff like how secure is the consensus, what is token emission schedule, are developers actually building, and is there real world adoption, and also most importantly, can the protocol sustain itself economically? And ICP, well, it actually checks all those boxes. It has staking mechanics that burn supply and a governance model that actually works. And when it comes to performance, it scales dynamically and hits sub-second finality. And compare that to meme coin chains where TPS is usually capped and inflation is baked already into the cake. Or even compare that with Google's GCUL, which might be powerful, fair enough, but it is still locked behind corporate walls. So yes, if you are looking for a chain that is not just riding the wave, but is actually building the surfboard, I think ICP is worth watching. And I absolutely understand ICP is not really the loudest chain, but it is definitely trying to be the most useful one, and in a market that is slowly waking up to fundamentals again, I think that can be a big deal. And overall, in the mid to long term, I think we are going to have, especially again with the full launch of Caffeine AI and having it accessible to the public, we are going to have massive amounts of adoption, which will hopefully lead to big price appreciation. And your patience in the cycle, I'm really hoping that are going to be rewarded big time. Now, having said all that, let's go on the live chart and see what is going on in the short term, because I'm not really sure if I have good news for you. Why is that? Let's go on. I think it was this chart from TradingView. There we go. So first things first, let me actually cheer you up a bit and tell you overall in ICP, I think we are looking extremely optimistic, because I do think off of the highest high to about the lowest low down here, about $2.5, we are having a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down, meaning what? Some sort of a low is ending here. Followed by that, if I just zoom in more, as you can see, we are having a clear-cut, pitch-perfect 5 wave on the upside, and I'm really hoping this is going to be into a wave 1 followed by a correction for wave 2. And what's next after our correction is over, or maybe even it's over already if we are lucky? You know the answer. Big move up into wave 3 and 4 and 5, and I think this move at least into our wave 3 is going to happen in this cycle. And it's very important to understand for those of you who are new viewers that in terms of Elliott waves, wave 3 is known to be quite a strong and sharp move on the upside. So again, overall, if you really do not care about what is going to happen in the next couple of weeks, I think you are in a good place and exciting times are indeed ahead of us. Now, for those of you who do care about what is going on in like very short term, well, I'm not really sure if I have the best news for you. Why is that? You see, we did continue our move down a little bit in here, and in it we took the lows, but more importantly, we actually took this low down here, which is not good, because I was actually, before the recent move down, able to tell you maybe this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and followed by that we are having a correction down, meaning overall and on a higher degree, this might be like wave 1, correction for 2, and then big move into wave 3, 4, 5. But now, since we took all the lows, I'm not really able to tell you that scenario is happening. And the question is this opening the doors to some serious downward price action? At the moment, at least, I'm going to argue no. But that's not really the main issue. The main issue actually comes down to timing. Why is that? You see, so far, I think you all realize that if you want to be bullish, you need to be able to find a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the majority of your bull run is going to happen in this wave 3 and 4 and 5, and building a bullish setup, meaning having a 1, 2 starting from the lowest low, is really going to take some time, and the price, I promise you, is going to go on your nerve. And I was really hoping that this is going to be it, 1, 2, and then we're going to get a massive move up, so we don't really have to anymore at least deal with some more chopping around. But unfortunately, we took the lows, and even if from here, I want to say like we're going to hit the bottom very soon and we're going to get a very strong bounce, then okay, one way or the other, we have to have a 5 wave up followed by a correction down. And how long is it going to take for us to have something like this? Let's just actually measure this example from this point to about here before we invalidated this scenario. This took us about 24 days. So again, at best, if you want to argue in ICP, we are going to hit our final low around the recent price action. I think you should probably expect couple more weeks of consolidation pattern in order to build a 1-2 setup, and then okay, fair enough, we can have a massive move up into wave 3 and 4 and 5. Now here's the situation. If we, God forbid, going to get a move down, and at that point we are going to even take the lowest low down here, about $4.3, okay, that's going to be really bad, because building on a higher degree this 1-2 setup is going to be extremely annoying. And as you can see, all my problems in internet computer chart basically comes down to timing, not necessarily the price itself. I think overall in internet computer downsides are quite limited, but timing wise it is going to take time to build a beautiful bullish setup, and we just have to deal with it and not bickering about it too much. Now let's zoom in more and see what is going on in terms of indicators, and maybe it's actually best to start with what is happening in weekly time frame. Okay, as you can see, in MACD, we are having a buy signal, great sign suggesting hopefully we have hit our final low. And in RSI, right now we are around the neutral zone, so not a whole lot is happening there. And what is happening in stock RSI? Where is it? There we go. Okay, as you can see, we are having a sell signal in here, indicating maybe in the next couple of weeks we are going to have either a continuation of this short-term move down, but again, we're not going to go probably a whole lot lower, or maybe at best we are going to have some more chopping around, further confirming that you need to be in internet computer a little bit more patient and careful. And what is happening in daily time frame? Okay, this is a sell signal in MACD and the stock RSI at the same time, which indicates this move down is going to continue. But the question is, to where? Is it going to, for example, extend quite a bit and then we're going to take the lows down here, or maybe we're just going to have a very slow and creaky move on the downside, and then we're going to have a good bounce? Well, I think if you want to find the answer to that question, you need to check out indicators on H1 and also H4 time frame. Let's actually go on H4 first. There we go. So what is going on the live chart? As you can see, we are having a low, the other ones are lower lows, but in MACD, if I just do this, okay, we are having a low and the other one is actually a higher low. So essentially we are having a beautiful bullish divergence, and here is the line for it. There we go. Now pay attention, this is important, and if you are a regular viewer, you know what is going on. You see, a bullish divergence by itself is a great sign suggesting bears are kind of sort of running out of power, and maybe soon we are going to get a bit of a bounce. However, the moment that you see a move down in internet computer, in order to get a break of the divergence line, at that point, maybe it's best to count on some more serious downward price action, maybe like another 15 to even 20% move on the downside. Because again, breaking a bullish divergence line is really that much of a negative sign. And do we have actually a bullish divergence also in H1 time frame? Absolutely. This is a low, the other one is a lower low, and here is the low, the other one in MACD, as you can see, is a higher low, and this is our divergence line right in here. And so far, okay, we haven't still gotten a break of the line, so technically we can count on a move on the upside. But again, if we break this thing, it's not going to be good news for us. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in internet computer. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time with your family and loved ones. Goodbye.